Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are, and welcome to another episode of the Levicity Show. As you can see, again, another episode. Darwin's not here.
Oh my gosh. I don't know where he's been. After our last episode, we tried to reach out. No one has gotten back to us. So remember, if you know where he is, any information, please just dial 1-800 Where's Darwin. It's 1-800 Where's Darwin. One of us will pick up and just tell us if you've seen any sightings of him.
It's crazy too. He's never went AWOL in the military.
Exactly.
He gets out and goes AWOL now.
Goes AWOL now. Oh my gosh,
Damn.
Darwin, we're concerned. We're concerned.
Your safety is the most important matter. Okay. But today's episode, we got a special guest. Matthew's in the building. How's everything?
As good as I'll ever be.
As good as you'll ever be. Okay. How's your day been? Well, how's your week been?
It was a good week. I can say that. It was a good week. Today is I'll still call it a good day, even though today, a year ago, my cousin was murdered. Oh. But that's okay, because he's my guardian angel now, so I'm good. Because he's good, you know? He's up there, flying above, which makes me at ease to know that he is amongst other people that will look out for me, so.
Okay. It's a very good way of looking at it. My condolences.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
How's your week been?
So my week, damn, we're kind of continuing this. I don't really have anything. If we're looking at this in the future, my week has been, I guess something may have happened between now and when this has been released. So let's assume that my week has been going great. Let's see. What's today? Wednesday. Okay, great. So far, my week has started off in a place of shit. I might say this and jinx myself. My week has been good so far. You know, I woke up, 10 fingers, 10 toes.
8 fingers.
Eight fingers. Oh yeah, shit. Your thumbs are phalanges. God damn it. Well, they might as well take that degree back because I don't know it. Yeah, so my week has been going well. What am I getting into? I applied for grad school, I guess, and I'm waiting to hear from them from that. I'm trying to focus more on like getting out of the predicament I'm in with like my family, you know, trying to like move out while also like provide for my family as well. So that's kind of a conundrum right there. But other than that, my back isn't hurting, so I call it a good day.
That's when you know you're getting old.
Right. Oh,
your back not hurting. It's like, okay, it's a good day.
You have
How old are you, by the way?
Oh, my God.
Oh, don't you? You better say like 39 or
old
something.
enough.
Like
Old
21?
enough, so
Old
20s.
enough. We'll call it that.
Early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah,
Definitely
sure,
early
yes.
20s.
Yes.
So, who is Matthews? How would you answer that?
Well, I'd say Matthews is just another one of my many personalities. As I think of it for the rest of my names or my full name, I kind of break up my name into different personalities. I'd say Matthews is this heroic soldier. No, I'm kidding. Matthews is just a regular soldier. Matthews came about 5 years ago when I joined. And I had to find a purpose in joining because at first my purpose was just people said I couldn't do it, so I was gonna do it. Whenever somebody tells me I can't do something, it makes me want to do it more. So I decided I was going to join, and then I had to find some type of meaning in joining. So I dedicated my joining to pushing boundaries and breaking rules, because at one point I would always hear, I don't think you'll succeed in the world as a gay black man. And I was just like, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. So this was one of my ways of proving haters wrong. And that is who Matthews is. Matthews does not stick by rules he does not agree with. And he will push the limits and boundaries if he can.
Shit. Okay.
So from when you first joined compared to now, have you noticed any difference?
I think the only difference I can say I've noticed was rank.
Rank?
Nothing else about me has changed. I've always been a person of great discipline because of how I was raised. I grew up in a Guyanese household.
Hey, bye.
And
I don't know him. I don't know him.
anybody who grew up in a Caribbean household knows that you are raised in a household of certain standards. So that was already there. Being yelled at constantly was already there. So nothing's really changed from when I've joined except for rank.
Okay.
So I got a question to ask then. How was it joining? Like, how was reception and basic into AIT? How was that process? How did you handle that? What was your experience?
Not gonna lie, I was happy to leave home because I was like, oh my God, I get to get away from these people. But when I got there, I was just like, I want to go home. Now basic training is kind of soft.
I hear it's pretty soft.
When I did go, it was still basic training. I got off the bus and I felt like we was already being bombarded by I was being bombarded by 5 different drill sergeants. I don't know why they decided to pick me, but it was funny because if you know me, you know that I laugh at everything. Nothing is ever serious to me. So I was laughing, and I guess that made it worse because
Oh,
when I tell you they dropped me like a bad habit, I have never done so many push-ups in my life. But it was so much fun. At the same time, it was very uncomfortable. I was around a whole bunch of different people. I will say I have never been surrounded by so many white people until I got to basic training. And I was just like, what do I do? But it wasn't that bad. Of course, you have your 2 soldiers that don't listen to shit and they just feel like, well, I'm going to do what I want anyways and just fuck it up for everybody else. But
yeah, ain't that the truth?
it was just it was cool. I had a couple of different drill sergeants that were very supportive of me and saw a lot in me that I didn't see in myself. Never thought of myself as a really active person, but who knew that today Matthews would be some type of PT stud. So
Here.
it was a good experience.
Okay.
Shout out to the drill sergeants. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's nice. You had very nice drill sergeants. That was very supportive drill sergeants. Supportive.
Yeah. Nice is optional.
Yeah, that's optional. Supportive. Oh man, that would have been nice. That would have been nice to have. That would have been great to have.
So, so my first question is, when did you know you were gay?
When I hear this question, I get a little confused because I have to ask myself, when did you know you was gay? But I want to say I've always knew. And it was just something that I wanted to not know, or something that I didn't want to be. But as time went on, I had to just accept it, because it wasn't one of those things where if you don't think about it or if you leave it alone, it'll go away. It was one of those things where if you don't address it, it'll fester. So that's what happened to me in a way. I tried to push it down so much that eventually it just went kaboom. And I was just like, I can't take this anymore. Like soda. If you shake the bottle, you put the cover back on, it's gonna go kaboom at some point. So that's what happened to me. One day I was just like, I don't want to live a lie anymore because I'm unhappy. And if I don't find a way to be myself and be comfortable, I will never be happy. And I'm tired of being miserable. And I had to push that for myself. It was not easy though. It was not easy. I think the most difficult part was telling my parents. I didn't care what anybody else thought, but if my parents did not love me, then I would be so upset. Because I'm like, if they don't accept me, then there is no point in being here. That's what I thought, and that is also what I think of my parents. In anything, not just being gay, but in anything in life, like maybe a purchase I have to make or somebody I am dealing with at the moment. I feel like my parents' approval is the stamp. So if they wasn't with it, then no. But they were. My mom, she's just like, I don't know if anybody else had this experience. Probably multiple other people did. But my mom was just like, well, I already knew. I was just waiting for you to say something. And I'm just like, I was just like, girl. But maybe a part of me feels like she is right. She was just like, a mother always knows. And I was just like, okay. My dad, on the other hand, he wasn't so supportive at first. He was not with it at first. He was just like, So there was one time me and my dad, we didn't really see eye to eye because of that. And it was just like, man, I do not like this man. And I don't care if he don't like me because I don't like him. And that's how it was for me for a while. Then, I don't know, I guess my dad got older and I don't know, I guess he realized that nothing about me is going to change. And he just had to live with it. And I wouldn't say me and my dad are the best of friends now, but that's my guy. That is the number one guy in my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But living this life is not easy. What I will say is, though, living this life brings you nothing but eternal happiness if this is what you want. Living a lie causes you to be miserable, and it doesn't make everything go wrong, but it creates an illusion in your mind that everything around you is going wrong because you are unhappy with the simple fact that you are not living in your truth. So I had to find a common ground of who are you and who do you want to be and where do you think you're going to be in the next 5-10 years? And that is how I got here.
That's fucking powerful.
I think that's amazing. Like living your like unequivocal truth, like just putting it like out there. I feel like that form of like vulnerability in a sense is kind of the first true like step towards being like not just like a better you, but being like someone who can actually live their life with no regrets. Because think about how many people don't actually live their truth. You know, how many people that actually go through their day-to-day basis with regrets, with things that they would want to say, but they're afraid of being judged or being like persecuted based on what they're saying. You know, and of course, nothing like fascist or racist or anything, just like their own actual, like, I feel this way, but I can't express it because I'm afraid of being judged based on me expressing it. So 100%, yeah.
That is definitely.
I feel like the world needs to live their truth as long as it's as long as it's morally and ethically sound. You should live your truth. If you're a fucking rapist, don't let that shit out.
Yeah, don't live
if
that
you're a
truth.
murderer, keep that shit inside.
Okay, please.
But as long as it's ethically and morally sound, you should always live your authentic self. I think there's a lot of people in this world who aren't living their true selves, and it's definitely because of getting judged. I think social media also plays a part in that. Social media is
goddamn social media.
God's work and the devil's will. You know, so.
Oh, no, go ahead, please.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but then again, I mean, it depends on how you use it because it can be like a road to success, but it's like on each side of that road is like a bottomless pit, you know, and there's nothing fun at a bottomless pit. That's all I was gonna say. Yeah,
Ain't that the truth? Do you think that given what you went through and how you kind of always knew but you were fighting it, do you think that people are born gay, or do you think that that's something that maybe just one day you find, oh, I'm attracted to the same sex?
Interesting. Well, so for me, I feel like it was more so this was just how I was brought into this world because I've always felt this way. Deep down inside, I've always felt this way. And there were things that my family members would see me do, and it would just be like, oh, I think he is, you know. And I that led me to think that that is just how I was created, and that is what my assignment was. But I've heard other stories as to where people have lived a certain life and then they're like 23 years old and they're like, I think I like this now. So maybe the story is different for everyone else. I know I will say I felt this way since I was a kid, since I was a little kid. And I don't know. Hiding it just didn't work anymore. It's the same thing with makeup. Concealer only lasts so long. So I concealed until couldn't conceal anymore. And
Okay.
that's interesting.
that's where I went.
So what are some of the struggles that you deal with living in your truth? Because in my opinion, you're a very bold person. You are not afraid to show who you are. So if you pulling up in a spot with a dress, makeup on, slaying, you're going to do that. But I imagine that comes with some struggles because people still aren't accepting of people living in their truth. So has there been any struggles that you deal with?
There are a lot. There will always be, and there will continue to be. But I have to always remind myself that as long as I am on board with what I am doing, nothing can stop me. As long as I am comfortable, it is going to happen, and I will make it happen. My sister likes to call me Mr. Make It Happen because if I put my mind to it, it is going to happen. And That is how I've always been since I was a kid. When I wanted to do something, there will be as many obstacles, hurdles, I will still get over it and get to where I want to be. That is just how adamant I am. I decided one day I wanted to try and wear heels, and I did it. Now, sometimes I do things without thinking of what's going to happen after, but I did it. And it opened my eyes to the fact that I like heels. And if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have known if I liked heels or not. So it's just things like that. Like I have to do certain things. I have to push certain boundaries. There is plenty of times I could be outside. I like to get dressed up. I'm very into fashion. I will go outside, and I personally feel like when you leave the house, you need to look good because you never know who you're going to meet. And that is just how I carry myself. So I step out in one of my outfits, and somebody is not going to like it. I guarantee you somebody's not going to like it. And they're going to say something. Now, it is my decision if I want to retaliate or if I'm going to ignore it. Either way, what is going to change?
That's true.
There is nothing that anyone can say or do to change how I feel or to change the type of person I am. And that's just that. I strongly believe in you are your biggest critique.
That's true. That's definitely true.
And if I'm giving myself 10s across the board, that is all that matters. And that honestly is how my mother raised me, because she feels the same way. If she likes it, it doesn't matter who the fuck likes it or who doesn't like it. And that is how I feel. Now, sometimes I will get in here and I will think like, damn, what if so-and-so doesn't like it? Because me and so-and-so may have a specific relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That is only because me and so-and-so have a specific relationship. We may be friends, or we may be lovers, or that may be my cousin. That is when I get to thinking, what will they think? That is because we have some type of bond. If we are acquaintances and you are a stranger on the street and you don't like what I'm wearing, well, fuck you. I don't care. That's just on you. Only reason I think twice about what people of my circle think is because, I mean, they know me best. So that can sometimes create a, what's the word? It could create another vision of how someone may see you sometimes. Maybe I'll wear something that I normally wouldn't wear, and my friends will be like, why is he wearing that? He doesn't dress like that. You know, things like that will get me second guessing. But that's about it. Other than that, I am going to do what I want, when I want, because that is what I want.
Okay. Cool. Are you also in like SAD as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was wondering because it crossed my mind when you were talking about fashion, and then y'all were talking about like not only tattoos but also like expenses and stuff like that. I was like, damn, what do y'all do? I was like, God damn. All right. Okay, and then I was looking at the necklace. I'm like, damn,
Yo,
shiny.
I said it too. I was like,
It's like-
yo, you're hiring?
when you were turning, it was kind of like shining in my eye. I was,
Ballin'.
that was, oh my God. I can't. I can't
boy.
with y'all rich people, I swear.
Oh, no.
goodness.
Middle class.
Middle class, middle upper class. That's what, oh my gosh.
But you know, kudos to you. I have a huge appreciation for people being able to live in their truth publicly as well. And I can't imagine what it's like to go out somewhere and then think some random stranger might have a problem with the way I look, and then it could possibly an altercation. I imagine that living A life like that day to day is fucking stressful and annoying as fuck.
It was. It was. Because, like I said, I wasn't always this, I don't care about what other people think. At a point in time, everybody's opinion did matter to me. Because, like I said, I wasn't fully there. I wasn't fully accepting. So I'm just like, oh, shit. Oh, my gosh. What are they going to think about it? So at a point in time, it was very hard. It was very nerve-wracking. It upset me. Sometimes I wouldn't do certain things because I didn't want people to think certain things. That would upset me even more because now you're sitting here like, damn, I wish I would have did that. And stuff like that, I look back on it now and I'm just like, girl, you should have just did it. Like you should have just went for it. A lot of things would be different now if you would have just did it. But me personally, you have to make those mistakes because if you don't, you have nothing to learn from. If I didn't learn from those mistakes, I probably would not be the person I am today. So I had to make those mistakes to figure out who I was. I'm still figuring out who I am. There is no end to figuring out who you are as a person.
True to that.
So I am still getting comfortable in this so-called skin of mine. And every day is something new. For example, yesterday, I have an old friend. We went to school together. I thought this man was the straightest man in the world. I was wrong. And it was just like, those things are like realization points for me. Like, other people are living in this story as well. But some people are just more delayed than others. And I can respect that. There are things that I don't respect, though.
Such as? Let's hear it. Lay it on them.
I can respect someone with the same story as me. It is a very generic story. I do not respect someone who is not living in their truth, but also blatantly tries to come into other people's lives and mess with theirs. I am happy with who I am. You're not, or you don't think other people will be happy with who you are. But here you are trying to inflict on my life and corrupt something here. Now, sometimes it's not intentional, but I can't find myself messing with or being with someone who is not fully there because that means I have to backtrack. I don't feel comfortable with taking step backs.
Right. To allow them to catch up to you. Right.
So it's either you're going to have to find yourself or I'm going to have to bounce.
This sounds like a very recent experience.
I mean, for me, it's pretty much normal.
Normal, okay.
Because I don't know what it is. I attract people who are in the closet, and I don't know why. It's just, that's just what it is for me. Like, for other people, it's different. Some people may attract people who are out there and, what's the word? Out there and extremely confident. Some people may attract the smartest people in the world. Some people may attract, I don't like to call them gangsters, but hood niggas.
The hood boogers.
I seem to attract DL men. I am not sure why. That is not what I put in my bio, but
if I had to guess, this is just speculation, of course. It's probably because of how like outgoing you are. It's kind of like they're it's like something they perspire to be, to reach that level of confidence and like assessment, and but they're still like on the DL, or still like not living in their truth. So you're kind of like their idol in a sense. So they are attracted to you more because they want to be more like you. If I were to guess, like just from hearing you explain it.
I would also
I'll
think
take
that
it.
I think there's a lot of DL guys in the world. And I think a lot of them are on the low because of the fear of how they would be judged. You know, like
Yeah.
going through the hardship that you have to go through being out there, they're probably terrified of that. So I could see that.
I mean, yeah, that is understandable. I guess not everybody in the world is as bold and fearless as I am. I like to look at it as where is the limit? Where is the okay, I can't take this anymore?
So to any of them that's listening or watching this right now, what's one advice you would give them in order to like reach to that, like the first step, in order to reach to that point, to begin the journey of like putting themselves out there like that?
Well, my one advice to everyone would be stop being a little bitch. No, I'm kidding. that is not. That is
We'll
not
take
what I would say. Honestly speaking, I would say it takes time. It is not an overnight process. Rome was not built in a day. It is going to take time, but you have to have the conversations with yourself. What do I want? And what is going to make me happy? Because yes, there are certain things that a lot of people are thinking about, maybe what their parents are going to think, or if their family's going to disown them, or if they're going to lose their friends, or if they may lose their job, or but you have to think about yourself. You have to put yourself first. That is the most important thing in your life, because it is your life. If you are not happy, then what is the point? Nobody else is going to feel happy for you. Nobody else is going to live for you. And that is what I had to come to terms with. The people who don't like it are not doing what I do. And if they are, they're doing it in private. And that is on them. I will not dim my light for anyone. And that is what you have to come to terms with. Now, for some, it's not easy because they have to just reach that turning point, and nothing I say will get them there. They have to get themselves there. But it's just one of those things where you really have to think about yourself. It's really, that is the biggest factor, because like I said before, you are your biggest critique, and that is what is stopping you, is you. Nobody can stop you from being who you are. And I have learned that for real. Nobody can stop you from being who you are, no matter what anybody says. Nobody can stop you. Nobody can stop me from putting on makeup. No one can stop me from putting my boots on. No one can stop me from shopping for the clothes I want to wear. No one can stop me from putting on that trench coat. It's just, it's you. It's a mental thing. It's you. And once you realize that you no longer want to stop yourself, it is a green light from there.
That was well said.
Agreed.
I will say too, it's 2024. I feel like if you're still out there fucking judging people for whatever they like, you're a piece of shit. I feel like even during the fucking Roman Empire, there was bisexuals all over the place. In history, there's always been more than just heterosexual. And who gives a fuck? Like, it's not your business what other people like or who they like. Like, it doesn't fucking pay your bills. It doesn't take money from you. So to just hate someone for them being themselves is, you're a piece of shit. That's honestly how I view it. And that's even just outside of like being part of the LGBTQ community. That's everything in life. Like racism, all of that shit. Who gives a fuck? Like, you do your thing over there, I'll do my thing over here. Why would I get upset at you for you being you? You know?
And social media doesn't make it any better. Like, the internet doesn't make it any better because now people can say what they want, do what they want, and they feel safe behind their screens, you know, behind their little computers. They can say what they want, all the hateful stuff. They can just get it out there, throw it out there, not
Twitter
caring
fingers.
who it affects, you know. And then afterwards, they just go back and sleep on their mom's couch and stuff. Like, Mom, you'll never guess what I did. You know, I'm a hateful piece of shit, you know, and stuff like that. It's like you were saying, like in the Roman Empire, like in that time, I know this was like thousands of years ago, but in that time, they were living a form of truth that we should, in a sense, not all of it, not all their truths, because some of their truths are kind of crazy, but like in terms of like walking around nude. I'm not saying everyone should walk around nude. Please don't walk around nude. But
Unless you're at the nude beach
unless you're at a nude beach or
at home,
but not in public. Don't. You will get arrested.
Yeah, that's a crime.
But like there was that, like the body, the human body was worshipped, and you could tell due to their art. All their art, whether it be sculptures, paintings, everything was mostly nude because the human body was worshipped, and it didn't matter based on gender. Like men was appreciating men, women was appreciating women, vice versa.
everyone was pansexual.
Exactly. And I feel like they had something going for them in that mindset, right? Which is why I feel like that contributed to their success. Because look at this day and age, people are so focused on other people and how their beliefs contradict their beliefs, right? And it's like, oh, you don't believe in the same thing I believe in, then you're wrong, right? And they spend all that time focusing all their energy on that when they could be doing so much more and succeeding. You know, that's why we still use the phrase Rome wasn't built in a day, right? But it was still built, and the people that built it, they had a different mindset than us when it came to the human body, human sexuality, worshiping the body. You know? I feel like we should try to adopt that more.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
I agree.
completely valid. I do want to say, now that because you mentioned SAD earlier, maybe I should give a little inside look on my life in terms of in uniform. In uniform, there are obviously regulations that need to be followed. And I always abide by those regulations. There are ways that like I said before, push the limits and boundaries of certain things I do. In a good way. Obviously, things that I'm able to do, I will do. Some may not like that per se. I am still learning because I've only been in for 5 years. I'm still learning how to deal with military opinions. For some, people in uniform may just be that, people in uniform. For me, it is a little more. I consider it to be a more brotherly sister thing. You know, my brothers and sisters in arms is how I look at it. And sometimes their opinions do matter in some way. So I'm still learning on how to separate that with what I do. Because sometimes I will sit there and be like, maybe what I am doing is wrong. But it won't change anything. It does sit there and ponder on my mind, though. But at some point, I will find a way to just say, well, I don't care. But as it stands right now, sometimes some opinions within the military do affect me. I won't say they matter. They do affect me in some way. For example, you know what? Let's go with something I can't control.
Okay.
I'll say that I'll say I have a nice slim body. And my uniform shows that. Some people don't like that. It makes them uncomfortable. I think about those opinions. I will not change anything, though. So in that way, yes, how I look in uniform makes some people uncomfortable for whatever reason. But I will not change anything. I am not going to go to my unit and request a bigger uniform because this Joe is uncomfortable. I'm not doing that. My uniform is comfortable. It may not look spacious to some people, but it is definitely spacious to me. I am able to move around. In fact, I shoot very well with my M4 and my pistol in my uniform. So as long as, and I say this to everybody, as long as your uniform does not hinder your mission capabilities, you are good to go with me.
Yeah, there shouldn't be a reason as to why.
But some people will find a way to make it an issue. You know, for example, I feel uncomfortable. This soldier's uniform is too tight. Those words, unfortunately, those words will get a commander or a first sergeant to look into the issue, if it is an issue. And it does that does create a battle for me. Now that is something I have to fight. I go in there with the utmost confidence, though, because I mean, what are you going to do?
Right. You're an outstanding soldier. You fire well. You said your PT is excellent. You know, they can't really do anything to you, nor should they. Once again, based on what you're saying, I'm sorry to cut you off, by the way. Were you from my understanding, right? And if I'm just thinking of it as like a just like as a heterosexual man, right? So you're in uniform, and you said that the uniform is fitted, right, to the contours of your body. So, you know, being a man, let's say if you're walking in front of someone, being a man and the way men are, you know, if we see someone with a very fitted outfit walking in a very feminine manner, we'd assume like, okay, and once again, I'm not defending anyone. I feel like it's absolutely like terrible that they're doing this. But like, so they're going to be like, oh, wow. Like, for instance, oh, damn, she thick. Or, you know, like damn. And then when they find out like it's a guy, it's like their senses betray them, and they get upset at themselves. And instead of like self-reflecting, like, damn, I'm a piece of shit, they're gonna be like, I feel uncomfortable with this. So what they should be doing more, and if any of you watching this and you feel like you're that person, and of course you're not gonna admit you're that person, but you should do more self-reflection on that. You know, it's not the fact that you're uncomfortable with what someone is wearing. It's the fact that you're uncomfortable about how you felt about it prior to finding out who was wearing it. You know? So they need to hold themselves more accountable than just basically judging anyone based on like what they wear, or even objectifying someone based on what they wear. Because that's what it ultimately stems from, objectifying someone based on their body. And then when their objectification betrays them based on their sexual orientation, now they want to get upset at that person and not themselves. You know?
Random question. The person who had that complaint, was it a female?
Well, it was multiple complaints, but
Okay.
it was a mixture of different people.
Okay.
I'll say this: it wasn't one time that I faced this specific battling topic. This is different places, actually. Not only at SAD, at the unit. There's constantly new people coming in my unit. It'll happen there more often than ever, and I just, at this point, to me, it's like a script that I have. I literally repeat the same things I say every time.
You know, I feel like when it comes down to leadership, I have a very unpopular opinion / belief. I think maybe because we're in that weird era of new generation and old generation. But I remember having this conversation with some people before, and I was like, yo, I don't give a shit. If the uniform is good, it's good. If you're in the regs, you're good. As long as you can fucking do your job effectively, that's what I care about. And that's what I look for in soldiers. Like, if you get a fucking shaven profile, I don't give a fuck. You like, if you have a beard or not, you having a beard does not dictate if you could do your fucking job well. So if you got a shaven profile, cool. I don't give a fuck. You got the medical documentation, that's cool. Your uniform is snug. If it's in standards, fuck it. It's in standards. I feel like people pay attention to the things that are not important. I get upholding a certain standard, but what standard are you trying to uphold? Are you trying to uphold the standards of the Army when we were in World War I and fucking everybody had to be as skinny as pilots? Well, I mean, technically that's still kind of the standard.
And white.
Yeah.
Skinny and white.
Which, by the way, the body weight standards is that's another topic. But yeah, to your uniform, people join the military of all different shapes and sizes. Like, I know for a fact how much minority women struggle with passing height and weight. They got wide hips. They got a wagon.
Height and weight is difficult.
Yeah, it makes it complicated. But we still use, and it sucks because I didn't want to fucking talk about the military like this on the platform, but, you know, speak the truth. You know, we're living in our truth.
Yes.
But some things do have to change. I think we need to modernize. I think the Army, though, is slowly changing. We're slowly modernizing.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah. I think it's always a slow process.
As people retire, you notice that as they retire, and new blood starts taking leadership.
Yeah, like you can have neck tattoos now. Yeah,
because I think I was talking about this recently. Like, everyone from the don't ask, don't tell era is still in. You know, they're at higher ranks. You know,
echelon.
But now they're retiring. You know, they're getting to that point in their life where, like, their bones are snapping every way, shape, and form, and they're retiring. They're getting out medical. They're senile and stuff like that. And now the newer generation, which would be more so like the millennials or like the Gen X's. Is it Gen X's? Gen X's. Yeah, like we're starting to take more leadership roles now. And with that comes our beliefs and our systems. So it is changing slowly, and hopefully in our lifespan or our time in the military, it would change to the point where like it's predominantly acceptable. Like it's acceptable in all branches to be yourself as long as you maintain your military bearing.
Yeah.
You know, I do want to get off the topic of the military, but I do have a story to share before. I remember when I first got my E5. It was the first day I got pinned. And no, it was the day I was going to get pinned. So before I got pinned, it was towards the end of drill. We were about to have final formation because I was going to get pinned at final formation. And one of my NCOs, they were the old school NCO. And they were like, hey, we're going to put you in charge of making sure that the Bay Area gets cleaned. Get some soldiers to do it. I was like, cool. I got some soldiers. They started cleaning. I grabbed the broom. I started cleaning. And he was like, yo, come here. He was like, why are you cleaning? I was like, because the Bay has to get cleaned. And then he's like, you're an NCO now. You don't do that. They do it. And I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And I mean, I could go on a tangent about that drill because we had to clean the commander's office even though none of us was in there. But I digress. The point I was trying to make is that the old school military ways, I do agree they need to change. Especially shit like that. Like if I'm not going to do it, you're not going to do it. And if I'm going to do it, then you're going to do it. If I decide today's a shitty day and I'm on post and I want to stay in the vehicle all day, y'all all staying in the vehicle with me. And, you know, that's just...
Yeah.
All right. Well, to segue, let's get out of the military. We got a couple minutes left. Matthews,
Yes.
all right, so we know what you do in the military and stuff like that. What about outside of the military?
Wow. Before I joined the military, I was at McDonald's.
Oh, I've been there.
I was there for a while. I climbed the ladder fairly quickly. I was a general manager before I left McDonald's. I came
Which
to
McDonald's, if you don't mind me asking?
I've actually worked in every borough, but the last store I was at was on Astoria Boulevard.
Astoria Boulevard, okay.
McDonald's is...
Oh, I know.
It's something else. The job itself is not difficult. It's the people that make it difficult. And I don't mean the customers. There's a way to deal with an angry customer. I mean the people on the inside, your coworkers, your bosses, your supervisors. That is what makes or break your experience in fast food. And they weren't all that great. But it was pretty much the same, you know. I was pushing the limits and being myself, and some people didn't really necessarily agree with it all the way, which kind of put some, put some snags in my career there. But like I said before, there's nothing that's ever going to stop me if I want it that much. So found a way, and I got to where I wanted to be, and could have kept going. But I got on SAD, so I didn't have to. But other than that, there obviously were side hustles. I am so sorry, Mom, but I am so sorry. I did a little stripping because that is also what took care of a lot of my expenses. That was cool. I had fun. It is also what kept me fit. I will let those who don't know. Pole dancing is not for the weak.
It's like all core.
You need some serious upper body strength and core strength to pole dance. And at the time, I had it. Like, I had it. I don't know about right now, but I had it. I could probably still do it, but that was like the most fun I've had for real. Like, that was so much fun. I swear it was. People look at it though, and it's like a bad stigma, but I had a lot of fun. I looked at it like I got to go get my money, and
I bet the money
that's what
was
I
good.
did.
Yeah, I was about to say, how much did you make?
It was good. Well, I mean, my check now reflects what you would make in a night. So
In a night?
yeah. So okay.
In a night?
When
Wait.
Wait a minute.
So I mean, if you are, if you push it, you know, you really go get it. You can reach your limits, your goals in a night. You can, especially if you look like something. Not saying that everybody who's a stripper is ugly, but it is a given. Anybody who walks in the club or whatever, they are automatically going to look at the best looking person in there. And I wasn't the best looking person in there, but I still look like something. So I was able to reel in some money.
Yo, if you mean to tell me that in a night, you could make what you get on a 2-week check from SAD in one night, I'm about to take some lessons.
Wow.
Only thing I will say about it is you won't make the same amount of money
Every night?
a day, every night. Like sometimes it's gonna be like, damn, all I made was like $500. And then some nights you're gonna be like, shit, I made $6,000. Like sometimes
just $6,000.
it's not the same every night.
That's tax free?
Every night is different. I mean,
You can't.
Yeah, don't
come
answer
on.
that. I'm about to go look up some classes.
Okay,
Catch me at all those parties.
so we got the past, the present. Now, what about your future? Like, what are your plans?
I want to continue to be happy. Happiness is my goal. Happiness is the ultimate goal. I want to be eternally happy. I think that is my biggest goal in life. I say that because sometimes I'm not all there, more often than sometimes. And that's because I'm always worrying about something. I may not show it, but there's a lot that bothers me. And this just happens to be one of the things that bothers me, this topic. I want to be so happy I don't have to think about these type of topics. And I will achieve that. I will. And I'm holding myself accountable. Other than that, just the American dream, as they say. Husband, kids, nice house, nice car, all that good jazz.
White picket fence.
Stuff like that. That is the ultimate goal. I don't think I want anything other than that. Is eternal happiness.
Okay.
So we do have to wrap up looking at the time, but I have a final question to ask you.
Okay.
If you could think of one moment or one experience in your life that if that did not happen, you wouldn't be the Matthews that's sitting here today, for good or bad, what experience would that be?
Okay. There was one day I decided I was going to wear my mom's heels to school.
What grade?
I was in elementary school. And I did not think about what was going to happen after at all. I didn't think about any consequence. I was just like, I want to wear those to school. And I was like, I'm going to put them on. I'm going to go to school. And I did. And there were kids that were laughing at me then there were kids that were like, wow. And we were all kids. It's just like, I don't think they even know what this means. I don't even know what this means. So it's just like, but there were some adults that worked in the school that were just like, do your parents know you have those on? And I'm just like, no. I went home early that day because my dad came to get me, and he was so mad. And he was angry to the point where that man beat the shit out of me. And I was just like, should I stop? But I didn't. I did try to hide certain things, but I didn't stop believing in who I was and believing who I would be. I didn't stop ever thinking that I was gay because that's just what I knew I was. Like I said, there were some things I had to hide because I was afraid, but that was a major turning point for me because it was like a decision: stop or go. And choosing go is how I got here today.
Oh, shit, that's powerful. Well, Matthews, I want to thank you for showing up, always showing up, being yourself, just living in your truth. I feel like there needs to be more people in the world living in their truth. Yeah, I appreciate you for showing up as yourself, always being you. So we'll end the episode here. Happy 80-20. Happy Hakuna Matata. Happy Levicity. Fuck being average. Catch me at your next bachelorette party. And I'll speak to you all soon.